I'm Allendale's chief meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your midday weather update. Latest check of our surface analysis across the country shows that we've got a fairly significant batch of precipitation trying to exit the East Coast area. Watching very closely to see if a secondary little batch wants to kind of lift up east of the Appalachians and cause some travel difficulties out there as we go through tomorrow, the day ahead of Thanksgiving. What we've got is we've got moisture coming up from the south, and then you've got a cool front trying to sneak through the Great Lakes region. I honestly don't think that does a whole heck of a lot, but others are talking about it maybe being an issue, so we'll have to watch and see what develops. Sitting over southeast Kansas, a strong area of high pressure, and then you've got cloud cover with our next little system working through the northern plains and down into the central plains as well, even into parts of northeast Colorado and Wyoming and Montana. This looks like it's going to act a lot more like a clipper system, so that as we go through the next day and a half to 2 days, we're going to be seeing some of this moisture race to the southeast. The thing is, it doesn't look like it does much to me. I think we're going to be seeing it spur a little bit of snow across parts of the western Corn Belt as we go through the day tomorrow. Amounts really not all that spectacular. Water equivalencies are down in the few hundredths to a tenth or two range. And then this will probably try and work into the central and eastern Corn Belt in at least a spotty fashion as we go through Thanksgiving Day itself on Thursday. Then it's gone, but cold air wants to stay for a little while over the Corn Belt. Meanwhile, we're going to be seeing return flow actually bump temperatures up over the central and southern plains. We're still on track to really not see our next really good frontal boundary complex work across the country until we get into the early part of next week. I'm really watching for the second, third, fourth time frame to see this thing develop out to the west, and then it will try and move toward the east from there. It's going to have a real good amount of moisture with it as it comes out of the Four Corners region. I'm looking for rain and snow to be developing over parts of the central southern plains, and then as this thing advancing, it's going to become a race as it comes across the Corn Belt on Wednesday and Thursday, so the 3rd and 4th. It's going to be a race. Does the cold air get in soon enough to really take advantage of the moisture, or does the cold air come in just behind? Right now, models are leaning toward the cold air coming in just behind. So while I have amounts of a half to maybe 3/4 of an inch of rain with about 70 to 80% coverage across the Corn Belt, I do stress that it's mostly going to be rain. You get back up into parts of Minnesota, Iowa, and the North Dakota, South Dakota area, we can see the precipitation end as snow as we go through the day Wednesday, but I just don't think the cold air can catch up to the moisture fast enough to make this a wide-ranging snow event across a large part of the Corn Belt. But moisture, yeah, it's got some, half inch at least, across a good part of the area. Following that system, we're going to see another cold outbreak to the north and not so much to the south and west. Actually, we're seeing a nice push of warmer than normal air in across the central and southern plains as we go through the 6th into the 7th. And then we're going to see kind of a slow sag in cold air again. This is the kind that doesn't necessarily give a decent push of moisture to the area, but we are seeing a very, very strong front around the 11th pushing into the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast area. It's strong enough that I think it may be able to hold together and should give us a good chance at moisture as we go into mid-month. Still, no significant changes in South America as we kind of put in our quick hit headlines. You know, we're seeing several strong fronts move through, and we're actually seeing some drier windows, drier fingers coming in between. So it really looks to me like the most recent pattern, especially over that central north area of Brazil, where we just had scattered rain that can pop up pretty much at any time. Maybe doesn't hit everywhere, but it hits a few places here, a few places there day to day. That pattern is going to kind of move out, and we're going to be seeing more frontal-based action as we head toward mid-December. And the fronts that are coming through are good, even down into Argentina. So I still don't think we have any major weather problems to talk about in South America, and temperatures look like they're going to stay fairly close to normal here in the days and weeks ahead. That's what we've got in your midday forecast update. If you've got any questions on the weather, give us a call at Allendale. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.